Yeah.
So another topic is that I'm interested to hear your thoughts on our psychic phenomenon. Like, and that's a big old kettle of fish. You just speak to what you want, but mind reading, deja vu, dreams that have some significant weight to them, visions. Do you think this stuff is real or is it BS?
I think a lot of it is real. I do believe in what I call portentous dreams. I've had them myself. I firmly believe that it is one way that spiritual beings can communicate with us. That does not mean that every dream is like that. It's difficult to describe, but I can always tell the difference between that and just a regular dream. Deja vu is actually just that's a real psychological phenomenon that's, the cause in the brain. So that's not a supernatural thing at all. That's something that, is like a little electrical glitch or something in the brain. And in terms of psychic abilities and so forth, I think it is possible that they exist. If they do, I think it's much less common than a lot of people might want them to be, especially for themselves. I think there's a lot of fraud that goes in on that, but I can't discount it either because I've had some, not that I've done it, but I've seen things along those lines in terms of telepathy and so forth. Not telekinesis, which significantly, but that comes into the realm of the subjective. The math says that eventually you'll be right. It's a question of how consistently can you be right when you're trying to guess like a playing card or something like that. In fact, I've got a deck of rhyme cards that I sometimes use. The square, the wavy lines, the triangle.
Oh, those things, yeah.
Yeah, you can get them on Amazon. And for a long time, we would just practice, my wife and my son and I. And doing it for a little while, and then the next day, keep doing it for a little while. And I didn't keep as close track as I probably should have, but anecdotally, it seemed like we were getting better. So one of these days, I need to just sit down and actually track the results. But like I say, anecdotally, subjectively, it did feel like we were getting better.
So the purpose of that is to kind of train your ability to
Right.
sense what the card is before they show it to you.
Like any other ability, it's a question of both your innate ability as well as training. You can have the best musculature in the world, but if you never train, you're not going to be a world class sprinter.
Interesting. I'll agree with you and then offer some examples. If you see someone on television or on a YouTube video claiming any psychic ability, they're probably full of shit. Just historically, it's just come up again and again and again. That's the case. However, I have personally experienced some what we're terming psychic phenomenon that I think are noteworthy, such as one time when I was a late teenager, I just had this wonderful euphoric night with a girl that I had such a big crush on, and we parted on great terms. This was before social media and all this, where I could get instant feedback to inform what else was going to happen. But after we parted for the night, I had this feeling that it had all gone to shit. There was no reason for me to think that. I should have just been on cloud nine, but I thought it had all gone to shit. I could feel it in my gut. And sure enough, very next day, it was all over. It was good that I enjoyed the dream when it happened, but it was done from then. How did I know that? Don't know. But I theorize that from whatever connection we had had, she had had a change of heart afterwards, and then somehow that resonated with me. That's an explanation. I've felt a presence of evil. It's like having a cloaker thrown on you. It had weight. It had real feeling. It wasn't just me feeling bad about something. But I've also, this has only happened in one place, whereas the evil happened twice, is that I also felt
Not related to the ex wife you mentioned?
no, not related to her. Um, a feeling of sublime peace and joy tied to a location at his legendary House of Mary, Mary, Mother of Jesus, outside of Ephesus. I visited there with a tour group in January 2001, and I wasn't religious in the slightest. I had no regard for Mary. But when I stepped into that little stone chapel, something hit me. And I saw one other dude in there. We looked at each other like we were both feeling it. And I'm pretty sure he was Muslim, and I'm not an Islamic background at all, but there was a connection. So while I can say that I felt like distilled evil, I've also felt distilled good. It wasn't in any other church. It was just that one little spot. Do you have any examples you could share?
I do believe in something which I call hypercognition, which I don't think is supernatural in origin, but I think the human mind reads and analyzes nonverbal cues all around us much better than we realize. And it's expressed on a subconscious level. So if your example with the girl, that could have been your mind analyzing like facial expressions and voice tones and so forth and processing it in the background and then kind of expressing what your mind saw. And I think you can do that on a level with a lot of different things. With news, if you watch the news, not even closely. But if you just have it, then your mind is still picking up all that stuff and it's processing it in the background, and that can come out in different
Ooh.
ways. So if I think your mind can make a lot of different connections, and that's another thing that you can train it to do. It's kind of like what we do with AI, where it's AIs are trained to sense patterns. Humans, by their nature, are pattern sensing creatures. So I think what a lot of things that we call ESP are really mundane applications of your mind reviewing data and making linkages that you're not consciously aware of, and then giving that to your mind. Again, that comes back to the bicameral mind that we saw
You just
with the Greeks.
pinged off something that I've long thought about, at least myself, is it seems like when I have a complex thing I need to analyze and unpack, get an idea of what it really means, I've had this custom of saying, well, I'm going to toss that into my subconscious and eventually it'll spit it back out and tell me what's going on. That sounds very similar to what you're talking about.
Right.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So in the course of this episode, you've taught me there may be documentation about the strange sighting I had, and you helped me figure out a different term for a practice that I've had that's helped me steer my way through life. Well, thanks, Joe.
Well, thank you. This was a blast. I had a wonderful time.
Good. I'll be happy to do it again. Just let me know and we'll make it
Absolutely.
happen. Folks at home, if you have questions that you want Joseph Bloch, the guru of Greyhawk, to explain for you, let us know. Appreciate it. We'll catch you later. Thanks, Joe.
Bye bye.